Hi, how are you?
Hi, I'm fine. Are you going inside?
I am, yeah.
Great, great.
We're just breaking up, but we
We had a great time. You missed the party.
I missed the party? Okay.
There's still plenty of food left, though.
There's food. Oh, okay. I only come to these.
That's all right. No, not a problem. This is very impromptu.
Okay.
And hi, this is Heather Sincavage, and we're going to talk with Heather a little bit about her work and have her give us a little bit of a description or an idea of what she does. So hi. Tell us a bit about what you're doing here.
Okay. The work I've been working on, I guess, the past few years is entitled Collector, and it's basically based in the context of a fairy tale, and the actual character itself is basically a metaphorical journey, that I've been taking as a result of a domestically violent relationship that I had. And basically the collector herself is looking to regain her identity that had essentially been erased in that relationship, and all the little tasks and things that you do to reclaim
to release yourself from that, from the bondage to that.
Yeah, exactly. So what's here in the gallery is basically the third installation to that. It's primarily this piece here, and this is sort of like a supplemental one to that. And initially in the first installation, she had been looking to regain her instinct, her passion, and her spirit, which is the things that she prized most that she had lost. And she basically does all these futile little actions to sort of regain these things that really she realizes doesn't get her anywhere. But in that, she has basically amputated her legs.
Oh boy.
Yeah, so that's why in these two pieces here, she still doesn't have legs. But she's learning to kind of cope without them. In releasing butterflies, she's in the process of sort of that whole reconstruction. So she's still rather segmented in these boxes here, but it collectively makes her image. And then I kind of play around with the whole idea of like buttressing and scaffolding and things that you do to sort of support yourself. And that's what this whole little structure that holds up the boxes are. And then that whole idea too, I kind of think a lot about theater and how you have the initial production and how that looks, and then you have what goes on backstage. So she has this sort of quiet facade that's sort of going on in the front, but we have everything that's kind of in the back to sort of make her work.
Right, there's sort of a back drama going on here.
Exactly.
You know, and then she has well, it looks like cocoons.
Yeah, all the little like chrysalis and cocoons and things that she's sort of been harboring and festering with and working on to actually sort of grow out of. And we have all these little butterflies that are sort of escaping from her back onto like a new world, a new opening herself up to new possibilities.
So really releasing her like the beauty that's.
Yeah. I when I first came up with Collector, I didn't know how she was going to end, but I came across a proverb that I was sort of reminded of, and the proverb was, just when the caterpillar thought the world was over, it became a butterfly. So it was kind of like the whole idea with myself, like when I ended that relationship and thought I couldn't really sort of go on, like I didn't really know what I was going to do, I sort of grew and became something new and something a little bit more hopeful. So that's what this piece really was about, just sort of like realizing that you have things to hope for and things to inspire for.
So this is kind of a cathartic work for you.
Oh, very much so, yeah. At first I didn't think so, I didn't know that, but as I work on it, And the funny thing too is that as far as the character herself, like, I seem to, as I work on her, not recognize that she's me. I always refer to her as Collector. When I look at her, I don't see myself, but I do realize I'm working out some stuff now in retrospect.
This is a really remarkable piece. And now, you know, like in regards to some of we may have some questions from some of our viewers here as to material, as to what you used to put this together. And I know there's a little bit of you have some rusted material. Did you cut these, or did you find them like that?
No, This I found, basically there were 2 pieces of metal that I found on the Delaware River, and but they were pretty corroded in certain areas. So what I had done to get the forms is that I tried to basically break apart what I could, and what I couldn't I would actually cut. So I try to keep it as organic looking as possible, so it wasn't too contrived. And then and then the rest of it that I'd have to establish, I did by hand. But and you know, the body's just out of cork. They're pretty rudimentary as far as putting them together. But I actually have always thought with Collector that she's always sort of frantically putting things together. Like I've never really. She's like this weird little compulsions that she seems to be doing, which I have noticed that I do myself. But Collector is very compulsive.
She's collecting emotions. She's collecting support. She's there's a lot going on here.
Very much so.
Yeah. I mean, not just in terms of art, but in terms of personal healing. Yeah.
I agree. Totally.
Yeah. Although it is very. I mean, when you take a look at it artistically, it seems almost cubist in design. But you definitely have. I mean, is this a photograph, or did you render that?
No, it's a photograph. I start first with a photograph, and just taking the photo first is quite an endeavor because I do kind of sort of wind myself all up in muslin, and then actually getting the positioning right as I'm envisioning the piece is a little tough to do when you're all wound and. It's pretty taut the way I do it, and then I also too, since I was talking about sort of her amputation, I have to kind of think of her that way. That how would she be without her leg? So this initial shoot, which Jeff Welch has actually done for me, actually does the shooting for me, took about 15 hours to get the actual positioning correct. So I start first with the photo shoot. And then it gets segmented up and then sectioned off, and I work over it with sugar and like a vellum, a tracing paper. And basically everything's adhered with a PVA wash, and then I do a lot of layers over and over again with the sugar PVA, and that's how I sort of really work up this surface to have a lot of body.
So the sugar actually has a meaning to the art. So
necessarily, it's just more of a texture. It's just more of a look that I'm really going for with her. And then I'm basically once I have all the structure pretty well established, then I'm pretty much painting just with acrylics. I'm one of those people who like acrylics. I know a lot of painters don't like them as much.
I like acrylics.
I like acrylics.
What's the matter with acrylics?
I'm a golden girl.
Yeah. Who wants to be a purist? So,
that's right. I'm all about golden acrylics. So any endorsement that can come away, I'm go for it.
Okay, well, we'll contact Golden tomorrow. See what they're going to pay for this.
I always said that. I was like, I love Golden acrylics. I will endorse them.
Okay, in just a moment or two on this one.
Sure. This is a piece I actually haven't titled, but. With Collector, she's always been kind of looking for a grounding and an environment that she feels comfortable in. And in this environment, I kind of made it as though like the environment almost claimed her and accepts her. So it's all these little pieces kind of going into her torso and figure, kind of holding her down and having her feel grounded. And then she's content with that, and then she's basically looking, and the environment basically does support her with, by providing her the little fruit that I made up here. This is just basically carved balsa foam with graphite and silver leaf.
Yeah, it looks like found metal in a way.
Yeah. Okay,
well, this is some very impressive stuff, and I really appreciate having you give a description of all of this. And
thank you.
And thank you very much.
I appreciate you coming.
I'm enjoying it. It's great.
Oh, cool. Super.
Well, thank you. We're with Heather Sincavage at Gallery 908 for Releasing Butterflies.
Wonderful.
This is Ron Schira with an Artique Production. Thank you very much.
And there's a restaurant up there where they just opened the lunch.
Yeah.
To go up there. Pricey a little lunch. And,